Well, good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to speak before such a distinguished group of individuals and to talk about what's important to our community here in the city of Houston as well as surrounding communities. And you may tell by the uniform that I have on, what's important to me is safety, public safety. And I think that's important to you also. And I was talking to the gentleman at the table there, and we talked about, the real purpose of public safety. And I share with new recruits or cadets and members of the Houston Police Department and community members all the time is this our responsibility, that is the Houston Police Department responsibility, is to create an environment for others like yourself, business, families, people in the community, people that visit here and do business here, to be successful. Yes, we chase bad guys, we write tickets, we catch drunk drivers, but a real thought in all of that activity is how can we make Houston safer so businesses will stay here, new business will come, people will make Houston a designation for vacation, and the people that live here can enjoy all that Houston has to offer. So that's really what police work is all about, and that is my philosophy, and I try to share that with the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis. I'm just going to cover some brief facts and what's going on in the Houston Police Department and leave time for question and answer, because I think the important learning happened and the sharing when you ask questions and I have an opportunity to respond to them. So some very basic things about the Houston Police Department. As of January 1, 2008, we had 6,454 employees. That includes civilians as well as our classified personnel. On February the 20th, HPD had 4,892 police officers. That's February of 2008. 1996, HPD had 5,483 officers. Kind of look at the numbers, look at the population and the changes and the challenges, a little upside down. But I'll tell you some of the things that we're doing to try to make up for that deficit in personnel by taking advantage of technology a little later on. We currently have about 2.2 officers per 1,000 citizens in the city of Houston. The national average is 2.8 officers. In 2005, I made a presentation to the mayor and council and says, instead of us, and at that time we were about 4,700, instead of us looking at getting to 4,800, 5,000 during that period of time, in order for us to be at that 2.8 per 1,000, we needed 6,200 police officers. So that's the challenge that we face as a city. But when you start looking at Houston compared to other cities around the country, let's look at Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and then Houston is the fourth largest city. Their staffing is somewhat much higher than that of Houston. In Houston, we have 2.2 million people here, 633 square miles. So we face a challenge not only just in the number of people, but the distance that officers have to travel. Additionally, Houston is a combination of Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago. Some places we have very high density apartment complexes. That takes a special type of policing in order to be successful. You need officers on foot, you need bicycles, you need community relations officers to work with crime prevention just in that community alone. And then in some instances, like on the north side near Kingwood, it may take an officer in half an hour with red lights and sirens to drive from one part of her response area or beat area to the other part with traffic. So those are the kinds of things that we are faced with here in Houston. Not making excuses, because we still know that when you call or if there's a crime committed, or we have an opportunity to prevent a crime, you want us to perform. So I think the things that we're doing that I'll talk about a little later, it'll help us deliver that service that you expect. One of the things that have assisted us, though, is that a couple of years ago when we were talking about academy classes and we were looking at the finances that was available in the city, the mayor says, okay, you can have 4 classes a year of 70 people. That's fiscal year. Now, fiscal year runs from July 1 to end of June each year. And we started adding that up at, 4 classes of 70 people, and says, well, when you think we'll get to that 6,000 and 200 officers? That would have been sometime way out in the future. So the mayor decided, specifically starting in 2007, 2008, and hopefully in 2009, that we will have 7 classes per year of 70 officers each. That's our target. However, that's been a challenge for us to find enough individuals to fill those classes. One of the challenges are that I was at a presentation that Congressman Poe was making about 3 months ago, and he released a startling figure. He stated that 1 out of every 9 person or individual that served in the U.S. military is from Texas. So they are taking a lot of the people that we would normally target to become members of the Houston Police Department or to join law enforcement. But we know that we're facing that challenge, so we are doing some other things. You may see, or if you haven't seen lately, we started in late February, putting some of the really snazzy, flashy commercials on TV like you see for the Marines and the Navy and the Air Force when they're recruiting. And hopefully we'll see some real benefit of that, because we really need to do everything possible, because we're not the only department that's short of people. Everybody is recruiting all over the country. So it's really a significant chore for us. But that is also probably our number 2 priority. Number 1 priority is reduce crime with what we got. Number 2 is getting more officers so we can do a better job. So what we're doing, we're targeting military bases as people return back to the country. We've targeted Fort Hood down in the, not too far from here, Detroit, Michigan, Bangor, Maine, and also other cities throughout the state of Texas to try to get people to join the Houston Police Department. We were hoping that we could do it with money. Last week, the council approved us to pay people a $12,000 incentive bonus for signing up to come on the police department. That's for our March class and our May class. And I was talking to the assistant chief, said, well, how is that working? He says, well, we're getting 2 and 3 times the people that usually come in now that we have that money dangling out there. But we're also eliminating 2 and 3 more times the people because they're just after the money and they still don't meet our standards as far as the qualifications that are required to become a member of the Houston Police Department. Most of the people fell out because of their drug use and theft. And we not only ask them a question, we do background investigation, we give them polygraph examinations to ensure that the people that we hire are the very best people out there. Because in the past, I think San Diego is one city, they got in the same situation that we're in. They went out and hired an additional 500 officers and had to end up, after they had a chance to do the background investigation, some of those people had to be fired, some of them went to prison. So we're not going to take that chance with your public safety in the city of Houston. Nor do we intend to lower our standards. We will continue to work at selling Houston, selling HPD, selling an opportunity for individuals to serve so we get the right people. Today at Council, we're asking the Council to also